Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make this quick and easy kidney bean stew. If you are new here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss a single recipe from me. All the measurements will be available for you in the description box below. So this is the kidney beans packaging that I used, and I used 500 grams of it. I soaked this for about 3 hours just so that it's quicker and easier to cook, and this is what they are looking like. So I'm going to be preparing my kidney beans inside a pressure cooker, which will reduce my time by about 45 minutes. But if you are cooking this over the stove top, you can follow the exact same method that I am doing. You will first start off by adding your beans into your pot, then you will add a bay leaf, then you will season that with some salt and add some water. So you just need to make sure that your water level covers your beans up to the top. You're going to slow cook this on a stove top for about an hour and 30 minutes or until it's fully cooked. If you are using a pressure cooker and your pressure cooker is like mine, there is a program that has beans written on it, so you can just select that and it will cook your beans in about 45 minutes or so. So once your beans are done cooking, this is what they will look like. They would have already soaked in the flavor from the bay leaf and also the seasoning of salt that you've given it, which is what we need because we're not going to be cooking it for long when we take it over to the pot. So moving over to the pot, I'm starting off by sauteing some onions, and I'm going to saute these onions until they are nice and translucent. Next, we're going to now start building up our flavors, and you need to build the flavors at the beginning. So we're going to be making sure that our spices are added right at the beginning, just so that our stew can have the most amount of flavor. So I've started off by adding some mixed spice and a little bit of nutmeg, and I'm just going to mix that up just so that the spice can also cook through and infuse inside the onions. So you'll saute that until your onions are translucent. Then I've taken the bay leaf from the cooked beans, and I'm also adding that in there. Again, this is just to infuse the flavor into the oil that we are sauteing in and also into our onions, and this is how we're building the flavor profile for our bean stew. Next, I'm just going to be adding some turmeric, and you're just gonna saute and mix that in. Then I'm going to be adding some dried garlic flakes. If you've got fresh garlic flakes, you can go ahead and add that. It's not really going to be a train smash, and you just need to make sure that your spices are not sticking to the bottom, so you need to continuously mix it through as it's sauteing. Then I've just added some tomatoes. So I've just taken some tomatoes and blended them in my blender, but if you don't want to do this, you can go ahead and just buy some chopped tomatoes that are already canned. Next, I'm adding some beef stock. So I do actually eat meat, so this is not going to be fully vegetarian, so I'm adding some beef stock. But if you do want to make it meat free, you can definitely go ahead and add some vegetable stock. You're going to give that a quick mix just so that it can dissolve inside the stew mixture, and then you're going to allow that to simmer for about 5 minutes. During the simmering process, you'll start to see that your sauce will also start reducing, and that is perfectly fine. We don't mind that. So I've already gone through and then added some vegetables. In this case, the vegetables that I'm adding are very basic. I just added some potatoes and some carrots, and I'm just going to allow that to simmer for about 15 minutes until my vegetables are nice and soft. And you specifically want your potatoes to soften because you're going to be using them to also thicken your stew. Then I've just added a little bit of rosemary. This is just to add another flavor profile to our stew. So like I said, you want your potatoes to be soft through, so you can keep on checking on them, but the softer they become, the more they assist in thickening your sauce. Then I'm going to be adding more vegetables. I prefer to use frozen vegetables just because they're easier to use and preserve. You don't have to keep on stressing about cooking them. So I've just added a little bit of green pepper. The vegetables that I used actually The vegetables that I use actually came with also a little bit of red peppers, but you can use whatever vegetable mix you've got, whether it's got broccoli, cauliflower. You can go ahead and add whatever vegetables you have on hand. Then lastly, I'm going to be adding our beans. So our beans are already cooked through, they're already salted, so we're not really going to do much to them. We also don't want to break them up and make it into smaller pieces. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to be adding it into our pot, and then I'm going to be mixing it very carefully by just mixing on the sides. So as you can see, I'm carefully mixing them in. I'm not trying to squash them or anything. That's because we just also want to try and maintain the shape of our beans. So you're gonna go ahead and do that. Mix your beans up, and then I'm gonna let that simmer for about 5 minutes, just so that all the flavors can then gel well together in the beans as well. So that's about 5 minutes. Then depending on how you want your sauce, you can thicken it. I did want mine slightly thicker, and that's just because I wanted to enjoy this as a meal on its own as it is. I did not want to use any additional starches, such as making a rice or having some steamed bread or something on the side. I just wanted to have the beans as it is. So I did thicken mine with a little bit of a flour mixture, and I'm allowing that to simmer for about 5 minutes, just so that the thickening can take place. If you don't want to use plain flour, I recommend that you use powdered mushroom soup to thicken your sauce. And that is basically it for this quick and easy recipe. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss a single recipe from me. Comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and family, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.